Once the parachute is returned to the main base, it is carefully inspected. Any tears in the canopy are repaired, and any tangles in the lines are carefully removed. Only after the parachute's meticulously inspected is it repacked. The pack facility at Fort Bragg is the largest of its kind in the United States Armed Forces. The paratrooper's safety is the center's key concern. The inherent risk in parachute jumps has led to a series of overlapping safety features during airborne operations. One of the most obvious methods is the second parachute, worn by the paratrooper, called a reserve chute. The paratrooper will be heavily burdened with equipment. Over his regular combat equipment webbing, the paratrooper wears a special harness. The main parachute is attached to the rear of his harness. In front, the paratrooper attaches a reserve parachute, which is a safety backup in case of problems with the main parachute. The airborne soldier's individual weapon is carried in a special weapons case. The soldier's Alice pack, or rucksack, is suspended off the front of the harness. The main parachute is designed to land the paratrooper safely, even during jumps from under 1,000 feet. In total, the paratrooper carries about 150 to 180 pounds of equipment. Upon jumping, the weight of the paratrooper breaks a pack-closing tie when the end of the 15-foot static line is reached. When this happens, the parachute deployment bag comes free of the pack tray. Two connector link ties then break, and the suspension lines are pulled out of the stow loops of the deployment bag. Finally, two locking stows disengage, and the canopy is pulled from the deployment bag. The cavalry's mobility allowed it to range deep in the enemy's rear area, attacking where least expected. With the advent of the aircraft, a new means had arisen to perform this mission. While it was impractical to land aircraft in the enemy rear, shock troops could be dropped by parachute. So was born the modern air assault force. Paratroopers have become one of the key rapid reaction forces to replace traditional cavalry. They deliver a force a few hundred miles, but are limited by the range of the helicopters. Paratroopers can be delivered to objectives much further, since their transport aircraft have ranges of several thousand miles. As a result, the U.S. Army's Contingency Corps has both a heliborne and a paratrooper division. As the paratrooper approaches the ground, he can lower his equipment to reduce the risks during landing. Parachutes were invented to save airmen in the event of problems with their aircraft or balloon. But in the 1930s, several armies began experimenting with them for military operations. During peacetime operations, the paratrooper bundles the parachute into a kit bag after the drop. If this was a wartime situation, the paratrooper wouldn't take time to bother with this. Bundling the parachute after jumps is the first step in ensuring that the parachutes remain undamaged and safe to use.